Hi everyone, welcome to PowerShell for Penetration Testers at Pentester Academy. In this video, let's discuss one of the most popular ways of exploiting our way to a machine, that is using the phpMyAdmin console. Remember that we are still in the exploitation phase of our penetration test. Before we start, we need to make a couple of assumptions. The first one is we do have access to a phpMyAdmin console. There are a lot of them which you will find during penetration tests, many lying around with the default username and passwords. So that was the first assumption. The second one is we know the writable directories on a web server, which may be a big deal or not a big deal depending upon the version of phpMyAdmin, version of MySQL in use, and the kind of deployment you face. So let's get started. Here we have access to phpMyAdmin on a server in my lab. So let's first look at if it is running on Windows. Yes, it is a Windows 64-bit machine, and this is the version of MySQL. Now we can use, I have copied all the commands in the slides so that you could easily use them. Let's use this command to create a PHP shell in one of the writable directories. So it has been returned to config shell.php. So if I copy this, as you can see, we have a shell there, php e is equals to who am I. So we are running as a really low privileged user, which makes this web shell access not very interesting. Now, without PowerShell, we would be stuck at this point generally. Now we have two options. First, we can change this web shell access to a Meterpreter session so that we can try a couple of things out from that place. Or we can try to escalate our privileges to that of MySQL. Right now, this privilege is for the PHP process. So let's have a look at the first option. Let's try to move to a Meterpreter. Again, this is the URL which you need to use. I have copied it here. Now note couple of things. Since at least we are supposed to test things in our lab before we do it on a client's network, we noticed in our lab that the PHP process was running as a 32-bit machine. So we launch an instance of 32-bit PowerShell and pass to it as a command our frequently used one-liner PowerShell download and execute. And what is the script we are using? It is the invoke shellcode from PowerSploit. Invoke shellcode is one of the most useful way of executing Metasploit shellcode on a Windows machine. It gets executed completely in memory and it never touches disk. For example, though I would not be able to demonstrate it in this video, but if you use the PowerShell payload generated by Metasploit, which are these, you will not get a Meterpreter session because the PowerShell payload generated by Metasploit needs to compile some .NET present in it, and that touches disk, and our low privilege user has no privileges of writing to disk, even not the temp directory. So if you want to have a look at that thing, try it. Let's use this. Here we download invoke shellcode, call its function and pass to it this Meterpreter reverse HTTPS, that is the 32-bit one. We provide the options for the listener and use the force parameter so that there is no prompt shown to the user because we are doing it in non-interactively. So let's use this. We have our Meterpreter listener listening here. Let's run this. It was downloaded and executed. So now we have a Meterpreter session on the target machine, which was acquired using the PowerShell in-memory code execution. And now if we run get_uid, you can see that we still have very low privileges. Now it is up to you to try different methods to escalate privileges from here or to try something else. That something else we will see in the next video. The technique has been referenced from this very useful blog post from the guys at Sense. So that is all for this video. Hope you enjoyed moving to a Meterpreter session. If you're enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, please recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the information security community.